All right, hey, here we are, folks. Times are crazy. I felt like we should chat about it. I don't know what else to do. This is Chris Allen,
Hey,
comic. Oh, say hello. Sorry.
hey, what's up, everybody? You know me, I think. You heard the name.
Yes, it's Fat Chris Al. We've done the road together. You've been on the live app. You've been on the Queefs. You've been all over the place. You're one of the only guys I know one of the only black guys who I feel comfortable. We've sat up late at night in hotel rooms all across the country talking about race, and you can't bring it up with regular people because they assume I'm racist or you're an Uncle Tom or whatever the hell it is. So I felt like, hey, this shit's crazy right now in the country. Who better to have an honest dialogue about it than a honky and a real black guy, and
Yeah.
see what
I
comes
was, I
out.
was like, uh-oh, here we go.
Well, I just feel like every white guy. I mean, I can only speak for me, but every honky I know is like, I want to say this, but I can't. Then you get alone with them, and they're like, "Well, what about this?" And they're like, "Yeah, that's true. Have you brought that up to a black guy?" Like, I would never. And that's the beauty of you is I can actually say it to you.
Yeah, man, it's a tough position for black people to be in where you have close white friends because a lot of people get upset. It's like, why do you let them ask those kind of questions? It's like, dude, it's best to ask people that you trust questions like that behind closed doors. It's best that even if it can come off ignorant or whatever, it's just like at least they're asking the question and they're not saying it to someone they don't know or
Right.
putting it on social media and just getting ridiculed for it. It's just like you got to talk about things.
You got
Um,
it's like a boyfriend girlfriend or a husband and wife. The thing that's going to separate you the most is just sitting on feelings, and then resentment builds, and it's easy to
right.
say it. And I feel like that's the relationship between black and white in America now. It's just, I mean, sure, we're coming together, but it's also like this thoughts and bubblings popping up, but you just kind of push them down, and it's going to come out later eventually. So
Yeah, you see it with these, what's going on, where people are trying to be peaceful and protest what happened, but then you have those people who are just so frustrated, so angry, and you got some people that just love chaos
yeah,
and they like to see things get derailed and things get turned upside down. Some people like it, man, and like to be honest, man, there's some people in this country, man, they honestly they don't want change. And somebody will look at you and go, "Come on, man, who doesn't want racism to go away?" There's plenty of people that don't want it to go away, man.
right.
Miles, can you not do that so loud? Just put it in the sink. He's picking now to clean his plate. Thanks, buddy.
Young black
Good job.
kid causing trouble
All right, go ahead, man.
in
Yeah,
the home.
yeah.
But yeah, it's
They don't want to.
oh, sorry.
They don't want it to get better because if everybody else starts to improve, that means they have to improve. You know what I mean?
That's
That
big.
right. There's no scapegoat. There's no scapegoat when everybody is on equal plane and everyone's being treated equally. They don't want that. They can't blame anybody for their problem or their situation. Just like how they like people are saying like, oh, black people are always blaming white people for their problems, but there's plenty of poor white people that blame black.
Uh-oh. It went out again. Uh-oh. I think it's something on you. Something on your end went mute. Oh shit. What is that?
Able.
Oh wait.
There we go.
Back.
We got it back.
I don't know.
Is it plugged in all the way? Cause is it like kind of coming out the socket a little bit?
Maybe. I'm going no headphone because I don't want that you're on a roll here and I don't want that
Okay.
happening.
Yeah.
It,
Now
it's
you're
tough.
screaming.
Oh, sorry. What's that?
No, go ahead.
It's tough too because as a black guy, you have the constant worry of coming off as like the angry guy or the militant or the pissed off scary black guy, and as the white guy, we have the fear of just looking like a bigot or a racist with any question we have. So anything
Right.
you gotta tiptoe around the cracker emotion, and I feel like I got to tiptoe around the black anger.
Right. Yeah, yeah. It's just it's
tough.
so weird, man. It's weird because all these people that are like, oh, black people are so sensitive. You can't say that. You can't say this. But when you talk to them about race, you really have to handle them with kid gloves and like walk them through it so
Right.
slowly so they don't get upset. And you got to go, I'm not talking about you, but it's like, but you hate PC culture. You hate the fact that people just can't be direct because people are gonna get their feelings hurt. And it's like, dude, one of the main culprits. When
Yeah.
you hear that you're not great, you lose your mind. You feel like this whole white society is going to collapse because you can't admit that you have certain privileges. And let me say this off the bat to all y'all that are Marx fans: white privilege is not about your daddy having fucking money. Okay, that you were handed a job. That's not it. White privilege is the benefit of the doubt. Okay, that's all it is. The benefit of the doubt of people believing who you say you are, and you're supposed to be where you are at that moment in time. Dude,
Right.
I was in the military for 20 years, dude. I worked around so many conservative white males. I've been out to lunch. I've done the dinners. We've been to country bars. I've been on police stops with some of these dudes. And dude, I'm telling you, white men do not like answering questions about what they're doing, where they're going. They don't take that shit from anybody, from nobody. They're quick to talk about, you're violating my rights. What are you doing? You can't question me. Get out of my face. Who the fuck are you? Who are you to question me?
Yeah.
But when they see that happening to us, they go, come on, you just got to comply. And dude, you know, I'm heavy in the gun game, heavy in that shit. Dude, you see so many, I won't comply, I won't do this, I'm standing up for my rights. But then you turn around and expect me to comply with bullshit ass laws. And then you see videos of random white people walking up to black people asking to see a receipt because they didn't see them pay for some dog food that's in the bottom of their cart. It's like, dude, who are you to question me on whether or not if I pay for my food? You're not a police officer. You're not a security guard. But you will watch that video and go, well, if you just comply, why am I showing papers to you? Who are you?
Right.
Who are you? You know what I'm saying? Dude, when I run in my neighborhood, I carry ID and I carry a gun to run on my own street. On my own street, dude. Because all it takes is for somebody, it could be a white landscaper who can stop me and ask me what I'm doing in my neighborhood. It's like, bitch, I don't cut grass. You do. What are you doing in my neighborhood? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Dude, it's crazy, man. And it's frustrating.
Yeah. Wow. That's true. I remember one time you said it well on the road. Uh-oh, you froze up a little. Shit. Maybe the Wi-Fi in this hotel stinks. God damn it. What the hell is going on? You're frozen right now. I don't know if I'm frozen, but you're doing one of these.
And I'm done looking stupid. Man, I'm done looking dumb, man, trying to hear people out, and they don't want to hear me out, man.
Yeah. Well, we want to hear you out right now, and
Yeah.
this shit's fascinating. I remember you said it well one time we were somewhere on the road, and you said we were at a bar, and you said if you went back in the kitchen area and grabbed a box of beer and walked out with it and just went into your car, nobody would probably question you. But if I did it, people go, what the fuck's this black guy doing going in the kitchen? Like, why is he out with a box? And I was like, that's probably true. Because I do that all the time in college. I would just steal shit off of plates and whatever, and we used to steal kegs from the back of bars. And I think
people just think you work there.
Yeah, they just thought that we worked there, and that's the benefit of the doubt right there.
Yeah, and dude, there's a video I saw in the news a couple of days ago. There's this white chick walking out of like a Sephora or some lady clothing store with bags full of shit. And even the reporter is just like, oh, it looks like an employee maybe grabbing things before people are taking them. It's just like, you saw all these other people looting and running out with stuff. She's doing the same thing, and you're assuming that she's an employee.
Right.
Come on, man. Are you kidding me? I don't, and it's all the people I don't see color, but it's like, why are you retweeting everything you see black people doing if you don't see color? All of a sudden, you don't see color, but you see black people looting and shit.
I completely agree. I've always thought that was bullshit. I've always thought that was weird. I don't see color. Then why do you say you have to hire a person of color for this show? I thought if you didn't see color, you wouldn't know. It's
right, dude. Funny. Right. It's so phony. And dude, like, I saw another video the other day. It's two white dudes fighting, and the caption is Antifa versus Patriot. And it's like, this patriot guy knocks out this Antifa guy. I'm looking at the comments. People are like, yeah, you dirty commie piece of shit. Yeah, knock his ass out. And I'm like, just a few days ago, all these people were like, I don't condone violence in any kind of way. And also, this is another point on white privilege. The fact that you can look at that video and go, this is an Antifa guy versus a patriot. So we got a good guy and a bad guy.
Right.
If that was two black dudes fighting, that would just be seen as black on black crime.
Oh.
No one would care who was doing what. It's just, look at them. They can't even look. They're supposed to be out here for George Floyd, and they're out here fighting each other. Come on, man.
Right. Yeah.
Come on, man.
That's a big thing with somebody said this, some important black guy, but he said, like, if a black guy does something, you go, well, that's what they do. They all do it. But if a white guy does something, you go, look at this white guy. That's crazy. You guys,
I know, dude.
Together as one all the time. White is just a guy.
Right, exactly. It's that's the benefit of being part of the majority is you get credit. And that's what I put on my Facebook the other day. I was like, a lot of you people are sitting back, white people are being quiet. You're not saying shit. No Black Lives Matter, no nothing. You're sitting back, and then once this is all said and done, and whatever is gonna happen is gonna happen. Those white people who haven't done anything, and even some who were opposed to it, all these all lives matter people, they're going to be like, look what we did. See how we marched for you. It's just like, that's another point of white privilege, is you taking credit for what good white people have done, and you acting like it also applies to you. It's like you want all the good things, but when it comes to like slavery or anything that's negative, it's all of a sudden we're back to being individuals. It's like, come on, man, you can't lump all white people together, and then 5 minutes later they'll be like, well, white man, we created the microchip. It's just like, where's this we shit, motherfucker? Where's this we come from now? We? Yeah. Come on, man. Dude, and like, guys, I see people shitting on Bill Gates, and I proved this point to a cop friend of mine. I go, dude, you will use people that you don't even like as an example of like great white philanthropy. Like, these dudes hate Bill Gates. But if I said something about Africa, my friend would go, oh yeah, Bill Gates gives more money to Africa than any black person. So we're helping your people out. It's like, dude, you don't even like Bill Gates, but you want to use him as an example of how good white people can be and are to black people. And you don't like or agree with this man. But yet you will try to use that as an example of great white goodness. It blows my mind, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Just the back and forth with the shit, man.
Well, can I throw a couple?
Yeah, please.
Because some of this shit people are probably thinking. So I'm gonna be the devil's douche and try to figure some people I see, because I try to listen. I try to take it all in, and I see a lot of black guys saying like, "Oh, now you're chiming in now, people, because it's cool." Because it's like in the now to talk about racism and BLM and all this shit. Now you're posting about it. Where were you before? And then you're like, as a white guy, you're kind of like, well, shit. I thought silence was bad. So which one do I do? I don't want to seem like the phony jump on the bandwagon guy, but I also don't want to be quiet.
Yeah, that's the thing too. I don't understand. I think it's people who might just be going a little too hard. It's just like, all right, man. It's just like, it's cool that you want to help out, but some people you can tell like they're just being. It's just like they're almost trying to. Some people are almost trying to hide shit they've done, so they want to call everybody else out. Right. But what I do see happening, dude, which is cool. A lot of these companies like Pixar, and I can't name some others, but if you look on Twitter, you'll see it, how like they'll have their Black Lives Matter posts, and then they'll have like past employees go, well, when I was a hiring manager in the tech department, you told me that I was interviewing too many black candidates. That's why I quit. Or like, hey, you're saying Black Lives Matter, but when I went up for this project, you told me blah, blah. And I'm like, this is good. Because you do have a lot of people out there virtue signaling because it's popular right now, but they're getting called out. It's like, don't talk about how much you care about black people, but then when you look at your employee roster, you have no black employees.
Yes. I've been saying that about the entertainment business the same way. Like, I'll go in to sell a special or whatever, and they're like, we got a lot of white guys right now. We're all about diversity. We're all about this and that. I'm like, okay, but every guy in this room is a fucking blue-eyed devil. You guys don't follow your own bullshit.
Right.
I get the diversity thing, but then you do it too.
Right. Yeah, they need to right. Yeah, make some changes, man.
Right.
Hire qualified people, and because I'm not one to just hire black people to hire. No, put some. The thing is, there's highly qualified black people. I'm not just saying grab somebody off the street. No, put a qualified black person in that position.
Yeah, I agree. So, you say we shouldn't judge people by the color of their skin and all that, which look, I agree with, but it's kind of inevitable, isn't it? Is it not? Like, if we all profile. Like, if I see a loud guy on a bus, like playing music, if he's black, I probably won't say anything, But if he was white, I'd be like, hey, can you turn that down?
Yeah.
That's me going, well, he's black, I'm not going to say anything.
That's white guilt, and like guilt? You don't want to look like a racist.
Yes, but I'm not racist, but I'm like, I just don't want the loud music. It has nothing to do with you being black or you being whatever or me being white.
You know what that is, dude?
I'm going to work.
Yeah, that's years of this shit not being addressed. That's why you can't say anything, because it's been built up so much.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And all these people that want to be able to say, like, how come my this can argue with a black guy and then not be a race thing? And it's just like, yeah, it would be great to be able to have two people have a loud discourse and then not be a racial issue. But the fact is, we haven't addressed the racial issue, so when people see it, that's how it looks. So if you want to get to the point where you want to just be able to tell a black dude, like, hey, can you turn that down and then not turn into a racial thing, there needs to be some equality. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's what it is. It's unaddressed. But once that gets resolved, and I don't know if we can ever resolve racism in this country, because people are going to choose to believe what they want, and there's nothing we can do about that. But we just need to get to a point where we can talk to each other, where you don't. Because, dude, I remember when I was in Korea, I was a new staff sergeant, which is an E5, and there was a senior airman, E4 black chick. She worked in the office. She was stereotypical sassy black chick, and we had these senior NCLs, people who were 2 or 3 ranks over me. They would put me aside like, hey man, can you talk to Airman Gray, because we don't want to upset her. She's real sassy. I'm like, no. I was like, dude, you're a senior master sergeant. I'm a staff sergeant. Why are you asking me to do your job because you don't want to deal with a black woman? Maybe she does have an attitude, or maybe it's because you just don't know how to talk to people.
Right. But as the white guy, I get it though. I get it. Like, I grew up in a black neighborhood. I went to public school. That black lady snapping on you, there's nothing scarier. It's terrifying. And I started, this guy's a senior officer in the military. And he's like, I don't want to do ISIS. I'll beat ISIS, but this black chick, I'm terrified of.
But a lot of it's not even like, you just got to, like with Patrice O'Neal, like one of his bitches, was like, shut up, I ain't afraid of that fat, black, loud shit. She's like, no, those are all my aunties. I ain't scared of you. Shut up, eat that chicken wing.
Yeah, I get, but when the earrings come off, I'm gone. I'm just a puff of smoke. That's terrifying.
Yeah, I agree, man. Black women are fierce, man. Not to be fucked with. I get it. And that's why I was like, I don't want shit to do with this. Why are you trying to take me down? It's just like, yeah, man.
I was at the airport once with a comic, a black guy. I'm not going to say who he is because it might get weird, but I was like, fuck, my ticket is fucked up. I got to change my ticket. So you got to go up to the desk and talk to the guy. And he goes, don't talk to that black lady. She won't help you. Talk to that old white guy over there. And I was like, man, if you were a white guy, this would sound horribly racist. But he was just giving me like the straight scoop. He was like, don't go to her. She's angry. She's bitter about something. Go to the old white guy. He's got no beef. He's got no issues. Like,
wow, really? And
I remember being like, wow, all right. But if a white guy had said that, I'd been like, oh, that would have sounded bad.
But see, I've experienced, I've dealt with the upset black women before. But honestly, I've experienced, I'm telling you, dude, when black women love you, like Patrice said, they front stuff, man, breaking the rules, bending the rules when people are nice. Yes. It's that thing of, again, it's that unaddressed thing of like, as a black woman, when they go to work, people already assume that they're the ones that they're going to have an attitude. They're going to be difficult to deal with. My wife deals with that. My wife is one of the nicest people in the world, but the fact that like she doesn't, she's very professional at work. She dresses very nice, so people just assume like, oh, she's got an attitude. She's this kind, and she's not that at all, dude. In the least bit. I used to, man, I remember like back in the day, like when I would wrap up a weekend at the Funny Bone, and then like the club manager would bring all the staff in and go, all right, we got Comic X next week, and it would be an urban comic, and they'll go, oh man, we're not gonna get tipped out. But you know the orders are gonna be this and that. I'm like, see, y'all problem is you're already going into that weekend with an attitude. You're already assuming that you're not gonna get tipped. You're already assuming that it's going to be a hassle. So when you walk up to that first table, you already have an attitude, and people can sense it, and they don't like you because they sense that you don't like them. And right from the start, it's already going to be a bad experience. It's already going to be a bad experience. And I told you that before, dude. It's just like, as a black person, it's hard to even like prove you got bad service. You know what I'm saying? Because we already have the stereotype that we don't tip. So people can treat us like shit, and then we don't tip them, and it's like, see how they did. It's like, no, you're not taking any ownership in any of your bad service at all. Mm-hmm. Because you know, that's that thing of people not wanting to improve. It's like, you know what, I can slough off on this table. I'm not saying treat them like shit, but you know what I'm saying? I can slough off. I can forget things. I can do all this. They're not going to tip me anyway, and I can always just go, they don't tip.
Right.
Look at yourself. Did you provide the best service or not? And that's something else too, dude, about that double standard and that hypocrisy thing. Like, I could tell someone that story, and they go, well, if they have the bad experience, you know, people get bitter, and based on their knowledge and their past history working there, they know how people tip. But if me as a black waiter, and I went up to a table with a bunch of very obvious Trump supporters, people that might not think too highly of black people, they would tell me, come on, man, you got to put a smile on. You got to be professional, man. It doesn't matter if they like you or not. You're there to do a job. But they won't tell white people that. Right. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to hear that from me, like, you know, they didn't like me. They go, see, this is all your fault. This is all your fault. But they'll defend a white person giving somebody shitty service due to their past experiences with black diners. But for me, I can have the same level of experience, and I don't like working on a white conservative table. They would tell me that I need to be professional and not think about that stuff and put a smile on my face and just work hard. But they will accept shitty service from a white person to black patrons, which it's just another piece of hypocrisy. I can't stand that shit, man. Really? I can't stand it.
Yeah. But I will say, like, I was a waiter for 10 years, and, you know, you got some good black tippers, some bad black tippers, people. But one time I waited on this guy. He had probably like a family of 8, like 6 kids, husband, wife, aunt, uncle, the whole thing. And I busted my ass on this table, and the guy pulled me aside, like, cool black guy, older guy, dad, and he was like, you were awesome. You killed it. That was a great service, and we appreciate it. I know my family's a lot. Here you go. This is for you, man. From me to you. And he like palmed me a bunch of money. I was like, oh shit, this is gonna be big. It was $4. It was like touching, because he was like, he could tell that I busted my ass, and he appreciated it, so I felt good. But I just think he didn't know. He probably never waited a table in his life, so he probably didn't know what a good tip is.
Wow, he gave you $4?
$4. The bill was like 300 something.
See, honestly, man, like, that's how we feel in this country. Like, you fought for this country, you did this, you did a great job, son, here's $4. That's how America does it. Here's $4. Even the thing with, like, Drew Brees talking about how his grandfather served in World War II and how it's like, why do you think only white men served in World War II, bro? Why?
Crazy.
I had to yell at a liberal friend of mine. He was like, because this is after the whole Biden was like, you ain't black. And I was just like, I can't deal with that shit. That's just too much. I'm not voting for that dude, man. Like, I don't want to vote for either of these guys. And he goes, how dare you say that? You know, my grandfather fought fascists in World War II. He would call you a coward. You're being a coward. I was like, dude, You're crossing the line here, man. Calling me a coward because I don't want to, because I just don't approve of what Joe Biden said, and then the fact that you come at me as if my grandfather didn't fight in World War II, and he did. I was like, your grandfather got to come home a hero. Mine came home still a nigger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Still, that's not cool to do, man. Everybody, we didn't get the same welcome home that they got.
Yeah.
There's stories of black men in uniform during World War II in this country that were murdered and lynched in their uniform, dude.
Wow.
Dude, there were politicians that opposed black soldiers in the Civil War because they were like, if these dudes fight, they're gonna think they're equal. They're going to want a voice in politics. They're gonna want to vote, and it's not gonna be a good thing.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
That's crazy. I just don't. As a white guy, I'm just like, I don't want racism for selfish reasons. I want everybody to get along. I want to have a good economy. I want to go to every business. Like, I just want everybody equal so we can do shit.
Yeah, dude.
I don't understand that mentality of like, no, they can't be in the war. I'm like, put them in the war. It's more fighters. It's a better chance of winning.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah. It's just like, and you got to think too. There are guys who fought in the war, but then they couldn't vote. It's like you'll take my taxes.
Yes.
I can work. You can take my taxes. You can take my life, but I can't vote. It's just like, come on, man. And honestly, I was talking to a buddy the other day. Actually, it was my sister. I was like, I don't care, dude, how right-wing you are. If you're being honest with yourself, and if you really look at and read history in this country, you know how can you even argue with the shit that's going on? You can't argue. When you look at our history and the shit that was done to our people, dude, you can't argue with it. It was messed up. And the thing is, and here's something else I want to say to a lot of your white fans, because I'm pretty sure some are rolling their eyes and they're pissed off. But here's the thing. When we bring up slavery and the stuff we went through, stop getting offended and thinking it's about you. We don't talk about that shit to make you feel bad. It has nothing to do with you personally. No. For me, yes, you need to recognize that this stuff happened, and no one's blaming you, but you got to go, you know what, this was messed up, man. People are right. How they were treated was completely wrong. We're looking just for some acknowledgement. But when I look at all that stuff, when I look at slavery, Malcolm X, Frederick Douglass, all these great people that have done things, all the horrific things we've been through, for me, it builds a sense of pride and responsibility. Like, look what my people went through, man. I cannot let them down. I need to step up. I can't waste my opportunities. But so many people get offended, like as if we're watching it just so we can go, yeah, we hate white people. Stop thinking about yourself all the time, man. It builds a sense of responsibility. It makes you feel bad for things that you may have done, and it's really to help build a sense of pride in ourselves, seeing where we came from, seeing what people fought for you to do. And it's like, man, I'm sitting around here just squandering my time. It's like, yeah, I got a little dead-end job, but it's like, you know what? I'm gonna go back to school. You know what I'm saying? Or like, I shouldn't engage in this type of activity, man. My grandfathers, my forefathers, man, they fought for me to be able to do all these things. It's like, I need to take advantage of some of these things.
Right.
There's all types of different movies that explain the black experience, and people get so mad. It's like, look, man, we're trying to kind of address this with entertainment, so it's not really being shoved in your face. Right. But that doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? It's just like everything we do is shoved in our face. We try it in movies. We try it with literature. We try it with music. Hey, man, this is frustrating. This is what we're going to. But all you do is like, oh, fuck that music. That's not real music. We don't want to hear that. We're sick of seeing slave movies. Who cares about Black Panther? This shit is stupid. Why do y'all care? It's like, dude, we're trying every way we can to talk to y'all, to build a sense of pride and community in our community, and all y'all do is talk shit about it, man. It's crazy. It's insane, man. Insane. Yeah. How we express ourselves is not good enough. You know, oh, your pants are too low. Why are your pants so baggy? Why are you wearing stickers on your hat? Why is your shirt so long? Why is your beard like that? I have people like, come on, man, you need to cut your hair. It's a little too long. Why do you care, man? People get offended. Oh, look at why you got a beard? Why you doing that? Every little thing that we do, dude, is scrutinized to the nth degree. Why your rim so big? Why is your tent so dark? Why your rim so small? How come you got this kind of speakers? Why you got so many speakers in your car? What about this? How come you got that kind of air freshener? What does that mean? It's infuriating. How come you don't lace your sneakers? Why are you wearing that brand? What does that mean? I'm just trying to be a dude.
Right, but then we do it all too.
Exactly. Y'all demonize it. Y'all ban it from your bars, and then y'all turn around and you see white dudes with stickers on their head. They're wearing Jordans. They got the hoodies. Listening to the music. They're TikToking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they say, it's like y'all hate us, but you love the culture. It's insane.
Well, it's tough because you're saying y'all, but it's all individuals. It's all different. Some white people love it. Some white people hate it. Some white people don't get it.
When I say y'all, I mean the people. I'm talking about the bigot and racist.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So, and that's something else I had to talk to my buddy about. Was like when you say y'all, when we say y'all, we mean bigots and racists. And I feel like when white people say y'all really mean all of us.
Yeah, you're probably right. That's good.
So.
What do you think about the whole? Because I dealt with a lot of bullshit from my kids in my neighborhood just because I was the different guy. I think it's just human nature, like no matter where you are,
it is.
You're gonna fight. The Tootsies and the Hutus are fighting whatever, and then the Capulets and the Montagues, like they're the same skin color. They're still fighting. We always find a difference. Your eyes are blue. Your eyes are brown. You're blonde. You're a man. You're a woman. Whatever. You're gay. You're not. So like, it's just human nature. So what do you think of the whole black people can't be racist thing?
No, we can be, man, but that's what I tell people, man. We just because we're not hiring managers doesn't mean that you can't be hurtful to people.
Yes.
So I mean, I don't like by definition. If you have if you're using that definition, like you need to be in a position of power and all this kind of stuff to be racist. No, because you can be hateful and go out and go like, you know what, I want to kill white people and go out and do that. That's racist. You can just not want to deal with what that's racist, man.
Yeah.
So I don't buy into that thing that black people cannot be racist.
Yes.
I don't buy into that, but I don't subscribe to that at all. I don't know if we all have the same amount of power that certain white people do, but yeah, we definitely can be hurtful and say things and physically hurt people and mentally hurt people from that aspect, man. 100%.
I think it is just human nature. Like a comic I know made a rapper died, and she made some jokes about it, and so everybody was like, "I hope you die. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna hunt you down. I'm gonna kill you."
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, you're like, well, what's the difference? Like she made fun of a death, and now you're gonna cause a death. So, but I think people aren't thinking logically. They're just frustrated, and that's
yeah. People are sad, because people got mad about the Kobe stuff. It's just, but see, what's funny is it's like, because you see people doing these the George Floyd challenge.
What's that?
Where you got these white kids that are like putting their knee on their friend's neck and they're like laughing and stuff into the camera. Like one of their friends will get down, and then like the same guy will be like, "Oh, it's not cool. You're making fun of, this person dying," and then they'll see a George Floyd challenge and go, "I don't understand why you're upset, man. It's just people fucking around, man." But it's like if you make fun of Dale Earnhardt, that's not funny, man.
Yeah,
that's not. It's really silly, man. It's a lot of tit for tat, like it's very childish, man. It's becoming like middle school. Everybody's telling on everybody, but things do need to be said. People do need to listen because God, brother, we've tried so many ways, man. And the thing is, like you were saying, we're always going to find a way. This is another point that really gets under my skin. Is when you deal with these white people who act like if black people or brown people weren't here, there would be this utopian society of how white people would just get along. And it's just like, stop acting like somehow we've corrupted this pure system. It's like you came over here in the first place because you were being ridiculed for what happened.
Yeah. Need not apply. It's been happening. Italian people, whatever, Jews.
It's just like y'all discriminate exactly, but then y'all act like somehow it's just us. Like if you just lived in this all white town, everybody would just get along. And I don't. And what I think it is like in their mind, it's just like they see each other as just individuals, like you were saying. So when some guy does go into a grocery store and kills. Oh, there you go.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Is this? I wonder if this is gonna freeze up in the final. You know.
Oh, it might. Well,
Uh,
we can.
this is good stuff.
We'll figure it out. That's what I was going to ask you. I wasn't sure if you were gone yet because I was going to use my voice recorder and just send you a file. We probably could have done that too. That would have worked.
Fuck.
It's all good, man. It's not like we can't have more than one of these, you know. Because I'm pretty sure this will get some questions, man.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. Damn.
Yeah, it is. This whole thing is just scary, man. It makes you like think like, are you even allowed to have a white friend now? Like, you know, people are just jumping down people's throats for every little thing.
I know.
You know, it's just it's pretty wild, man.
It is. I think I was thinking about this the other day. Like, you see all this crazy footage. It's all a bummer. It's all violent. And then you think, God, can you imagine if people had a camera in the '60s, like a cell phone camera?
Oh man.
Oh my God, the fucking head bashings and the German shepherds and the hoses. We saw some news shit, but imagine seeing back alley shit.
I know, dude. It's pretty wild, man.
Yeah. My mom made a good. I was talking to my mom about the whole thing, and she was like, I will say, I was around in the '60s. I watched the news. I watched all the shit. I was in college. And now I watch the news about this stuff, and it's so many white people. Like back in the day when the hoses were going, it was all black.
Yeah.
Now it's like a 60-40 almost. It's kind of nice. That's
it is, man, and that's what's so crazy. It's like, dude, you have so many white people out here protesting and using their white privilege to shield black, you know, protesters from police because they are, you know, a tad bit more hesitant to hit a white chick, you know, but they are, but if they're less inclined to do it as quickly. It's nice to see, man. And again. Yeah. The people who aren't doing anything are going to try to take credit for that. That's what bothers me, man. Mm-hmm. They're going to be like, see how it's like, you didn't do shit, man. You didn't help. You actually opposed it.
Right.
You know, it's like, dude, our lives don't matter. You're lying to yourself, man. You're fucking lying.
Yeah.
You're lying to yourself.
And if your life matters, go help. Go help somebody who needs it. That's the way to matter.
Right, exactly. If all lives matter, I ask people when they say that, why didn't George Floyd's life matter? Why doesn't it matter now? If they all matter.
Yeah.
It's just, oh, man.
But to make your point again about the like if it was only white people, it'd be a utopia. Look at Asia. I mean, like in Hong Kong, they're having riots. They all look the fucking same, but they're having riots in the streets with tanks and Molotov cocktails and shit. So it doesn't matter about the skin color, you know, like they're doing it. It froze again. Damn it.
Yeah, no, sorry, man. I have to use this Chromebook, man. Oh. My wife I have a Mac, folks. I'm doing okay. All right.
I know. I feel like we got to do this again. I don't know how much of this is coming up is going to come up on the recording. Uh-oh. Did I lose you?
I just can't hear you.
Oh, damn.
There you go. You're back. I got you. Go ahead.
Oh, there we go. Maybe I can send this to a kid to edit it.
Yeah, I can send it to you. Then you can send him to edit. You can have him edit it, I guess.
Okay, because there was like a minute chunk or two where I would lose you completely.
Okay.
30 seconds.
I mean, if we have to, maybe we can even just clip it out. Have somebody clip it out.
Yeah, that's not bad. All right. Also, you sound a little scratchy. I don't know if it's the mic is popping or something.
Oh, really? Is it? Is it too? I wonder if the mic is too hot.
Maybe it's too hot because I'm getting. It sounds like a tinny or not tinny, gravelly.
Oh, it could just be my voice too. I don't know. It's a little dry.
So here's another thing as a big blue-eyed devil is the whole like I've been robbed a bunch and mugged a few times, and it's always been a black guy
Right.
every time.
Okay.
Just saying facts. And so,
Yeah, I'm not taking offense to that, buddy.
yeah, so when somebody is like nervous around black people, I feel like, well, maybe they dealt with a lot of black crime, and in a way, they're like the same way you're nervous around cops or white people in your neighborhood. That's why you carry a gun. Maybe they're nervous because they dealt with some shit that happened.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, I can't argue with. I mean, if you've been robbed multiple times and it happened to be by a black person, dude, honestly, other than I'm sorry, I can't tell you how to deal with that. Other than I hope that doesn't put any hate in your heart towards black people. I'm sorry that's what happened to you.
Well, I'm not looking for an apology. I'm just saying, like, it could be a reason.
I get it, man. Some people just. They've had bad experiences. And again, it's one of those things of like, I can tell you of all the bad experiences I had with white people, and that person will tell me like, hey man, but that doesn't mean you should judge everybody. Yes. Okay, here you go.
Here we go.
Growing up, right? I went to private Catholic schools, and out of the blue, somebody would always be like, hey man, I'm not racist, but my uncle is really racist, man. Yeah. And I just want to say I'm not racist. And I would just go, that's cool. And that doesn't bother me. And they go, what about you? I go, yeah, my uncle's racist. He doesn't like white people. And they'll go, but why? Why doesn't your uncle like us? I don't understand. I was like, yeah, my uncle is from Florida, dude. He grew up in the Jim Crow South. Yeah, but they're still one good. It's just like, look, it's not like my uncle woke up one day and decided, like, you know what, I don't really like white people. It's just like when you're born into a system where you're like, yes, color not allowed. You got to, you have to use the back door, use terrible facilities. Your schools suck. People tell you how awful you are. I mean, you're getting bossed around, you're getting beat up and pushed around, and you might have some resentment towards white people, and they want to wonder why. But as a black person, as a minority, we're supposed to understand because you got punched in the face by a black kid in 4th grade. That's supposed to validate how you feel about black people for the rest of your life. It's just, again, that's not really fair. And my hat goes off to you, man, because, I mean, getting robbed multiple times by black people, in your experience, and you still like, I can't judge, that is huge, man.
I was a piece of shit too. I would vandalize and all kinds of stuff. But again, that's my privilege where I'm lucky that people don't go, oh, all white people vandalize,
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that sucks, man. And I'm one of these people too. Like whenever I do things wrong, I'm like, you know what? The next time I lose something or something bad happens to me, I'll go, I kind of deserve that because I stole this or I did this or I kind of lied about that. And I'm not saying you got what you deserved, but like I feel like karma kind of has this way of, you steal shit, we take your shit.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. But we're all entitled. We all want me. I want to succeed. I want to move on. I want nothing bad to happen to me. It's like you said, we just damn, you had a good point in the beginning and I'm trying to repeat it.
Oh, sorry, man.
No, it's not. My fault. I forgot it. Shit. All right.
All right.
Damn, what was that you said? It was good. Stuck.
Well, I got another point about I just feel like we've had such a weird relationship with this country, like the gaslighting that goes on, and the us being lied to about things and the moving of goalposts. It's like, hey, if you do X, Y, and Z, you'll be successful. You got to earn things on your own, and then we do that. We stay out of trouble. We go to college. We get a good job. And those same people that don't see color, that want us to look past our race, when we get that job at that corner office, it's like, he didn't earn that job, man. That's all affirmative action. It's like, dude, I've done all the things I've been asked to do, but now I didn't earn it because I am black, because it was just given to me. It's just like, that's not fair to do, man. To go, hey, if you do these things, you can be successful. And when we achieve that, that's not good enough, or we didn't get it the right way, or we've talked about this before. You know, they tell us, like, don't complain about, you know, there not being enough black TV shows or black actors on these shows or black movies. Create your own thing, do your own thing. And then we do, and those same people complain, like, where's my BET? How come I can't have a, you know, where's the white central channel? If I had that, it'll be racist. It's like, dude, you said create your own. Now you're bitching about the name of it.
Right.
You know? You go, hey, man, black people, y'all worst enemy. Y'all don't take care of each other. Y'all do this. We create programs, mentorship programs to help young black boys, young black girls, guys out of you know, prison, or like people who are not even in that world. We're just like, we're helping people get scholarships. And it's like, how come we can't do that? It's like, do you want us to help ourselves or not? Yeah, you say one thing and then you say something else on the other side of your mouth. It's frustrating, dude, to be told, like, or ask, like, hey, if y'all do this, things will work out. And then when we do, you complain about how it's done, when it was done, the name of it, how many people were involved. Just, you know what I mean? Just, they find any little thing, anything to like negate it or somehow tear it down a little bit. And it sucks, man. And it sucks. You know, we can't do anything. And like, my wife is a part of this organization called 100 Black Women. And I'll tell you all this. I would say most black organizations, if you look at their charters or something like that, most of them, I would say, well over 90%, anybody of any ethnic background is welcome to join. There's an older white woman that is in my wife's group, 100 Black Women. She's in there. They vetted her just like everybody else. They don't go through any more stringent, but you know, they have to be careful because you don't know what people can be trying, what their motives are. You have to be somewhat careful, to be honest, because some people really don't like seeing black people come together. But this woman, she's been doing stuff since the 70s helping black people. She's a real ally. That woman knows when to step up. She knows when to fall back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So. Yeah, dude, like if you see some mentorship program for black kids, that doesn't mean your white kid can't go.
Right.
Just like you tell us, like, yeah, they think that. They think that, dude. My buddy, he's a school teacher, and the school he goes to, where he works at in the DC area, is one of the best coding programs in that area. Mm-hmm. Black dude, right? One of the best, one of the top 5 programs in this area for coding and stuff, but it's predominantly black. Dude, he says no white people ever stop at their booths when they go to these coding convention things, because they see like 3 or 4 black dudes and they go, that ain't for us.
Right.
And that's not the case. Or they'll say, like, some of the white kids will try to come over there and their parents will go, no, let's go over here, let's go over here. But like, dude, like when we first wanted to put my son in school around here, I came up in the private school sector for the majority of my school career, and I was like, you know what, I think I might want to continue that tradition and have my son go to a private school. So we went to a Christian school around here, and there were no black kids in that school. It was very traditional, seats in rows. They had the letters on the wall, no computers. It's like, this is kind of like 1980s. It seems cool and quaint and you know, and all that kind of stuff. But it's like, kids need to have computer programs and all that kind of stuff. This ain't, you know. And I was just like, I don't know, man, about these, you know, super Christian people, my son going to this school. I don't want him to be a token. So I go back to work, and I'm talking to my buddy Rich about it. And I was like, it was just a little too white, man. I didn't want my son to be. He's like, wow, come on, dude. If it's a good school, why do you care? How come your kid can't be around white kids, man? That's kind of fucked up, Chris. And I was just like, okay, how would you feel about? I was like, would you allow your daughter or son to go to an all-black school? He was just like, probably not, man. To be honest, man. I was like, why not? He's like, well, I wouldn't want them to be different and get made fun of. I was like, okay, why do you think? I was like, why is there such a double standard? Why are you taking offense because I don't want my son to be the only black kid in that school?
Yeah.
And he already had some other issues going on. He finally got diagnosed with ADHD. And I was just like, I don't feel comfortable with him going to the school, and that should be okay. Stop trying to convince me that it's okay for my son to be the only black kid, but then you want to justify why you don't want your kid being the only white one. That's not fair. And you're trying to say that, like, somehow that your kids, white kids, are just better than black kids. And that's just not the case, man. It's just not the case at all.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, we take shit personally. But we're you keep saying this stuff, and I'm like, man, white people feel similarly about ourselves. We're so similar, we can't even see it. Like
it's right there. It's like it's right there, dude. It's right there.
I know.
Like on some conservative white males, the ego and the pride. Dude, that's exactly why that guy held his knee on that guy's neck. His ego and his pride would not allow him to stop doing what he was doing.
Right.
He would not. And I was talking to a buddy last night. He was like, yeah, but when you look at the people, they were kind of egging him on. I was like, dude, stop it. That's a grown-ass man. He kept his knee on that guy's neck to prove a point with those people. And I was like, look where that got him. Nowhere. Look where it has gotten our country the last week. All because of his pride and ego. And dude, I just found out like two of those guys were like brand new. It was their first week on the job, dude.
Oh, God.
And they're probably going to go to jail.
They are, I think. He
was their trainer. Brand new cops. Could you imagine that, dude? Your first week out, and you are the center of one of the biggest cases in American history. And you go to police academy, people are happy, they're proud of you, and boom, a week later, and see, that's why people in positions of power, we have to have the right people. Because to a degree, I kind of understand how that can happen, because when you have that rank structure and you're new, you don't want to upset the system.
Right.
So you're like, hey, man, that's the Sarge, man. He know what he's doing. But it also has to get to a point where you go, okay, this has surpassed any police work. Yeah. This has surpassed any rank. You have to use common sense and go, dude, you could kill this person. But they're so new and so fresh, they're probably not even thinking about that. But when you have citizens, you even had a nurse go, hey, I'm a healthcare provider. I'm a nurse. You should at least check his pulse. And when you just like, man, he sealed his fate with every moment that ticked by. He gave himself less and less ammo to defend himself. It became less and less defendable as the time went on. He fucked himself with every minute, dude. Every minute. Every minute. And if we would have stopped at 3 minutes, we could argue all day. We could argue back and forth all day, but it's 8 minutes of him doing that. In my book and most people's book, you can't argue with that, dude.
Yeah, and I think it also shows that kind of cop behavior is par for the course. Like that's just normal to them. Needle on a guy, hold him down. 4 people holding one guy down, like. The whole thing is unethical, but it just shows that that's business as usual for them.
It is, man.
Anything out of the ordinary.
It is. It's just like, I don't understand why people can't see it. It's like, it's a problem, man. It's a problem. It's not their job to just be beating other citizens in the street. Again, if that was video from Venezuela, all these people here supporting the cops will go, look at that. See what communism gets you? Look at that's fascism. And they do the same thing here, and they're defending it. Dude, you're defending the police in riot gear, pushing down an old man. I see people like, well, I heard he had mental issues. I heard he didn't know what was going on. Why is he out? It's like you're making excuses for what's not defendable.
Right.
There's 40 of you guys. There's one old man. Go, hey, man, can you just turn around? Are you? If he wasn't okay, are you okay? All right, man, let's step aside here. But we have this whole winner-loser mentality in this country now. We got this gotcha culture. The thing is, people have to win and people have to lose. And when people feel that way, bad shit happens. And honestly, and people are just getting bitter.
Yeah.
Now, honestly, man, like I've never really trusted the police, but after seeing all these videos, man, I really don't. And I see why some of these like sorry ass dudes want to be police officers, because it's a job that you can go into and you can literally get away with fucking pushing down old people. Dude, there's another video of them shooting a homeless man in a wheelchair in the face with a rubber bullet. This dude is leaking. This guy is so sad. He's got his pants halfway down his legs. He's basically sitting in a wheelchair naked and his face is bleeding, and they don't even care. And that's a white dude, and that's probably a veteran that they say they care about so much.
Damn. I didn't see that one.
It's sad. Now they're going to start doing it to white people, and once that shit goes into the suburbs, it's going to be a different story. Just like the opioid crisis, dude. No one cared about the crack epidemic at all.
Right.
Did you watch that documentary about the guy who, matter of fact, it happened in New Orleans.
Oh, yeah, I saw the pharmacist.
The pharmacist.
That was great.
See, like, no one cared about that white kid, because it was like, oh, this is a white kid dealing with these black people, and he got himself killed dealing with these black people. And then he tried to tell him like about the opioid. I can't even say opioid. Opioid. There you go. Opioid. Jesus Christ. No one cared. And then after a couple of years, they started seeing a spike of these white kids in the suburbs dying. Now all of a sudden, it was on the radar of the federal government and all these different big drug agencies. You should name this video. Chris Allen struggles to say opioid. There you go. Opioid.
Learn the language.
That was opioid. Yeah, dude, it's pretty wild, man.
Yeah. It's tough, but we have to realize, everything's so fucked up, everything's so muddy and cloudy that, like, look, the future, even if everything was equal, even if everything was no racism existed, black people are gonna get shot by police. It's gonna happen. Like, some of them might have a gun pointed at the cops. Like, there are justified cases. There's cases where a black cop has shot a white guy. There's cases where a white cop shot a white guy. So we have to be ready for that, because I do get scared that every time a black guy gets fucked with by a white guy, we just assume it's a racist motive.
I understand that, dude. And I get it, man. Yeah, that's what they're there to do. I get it, man. There are definitely justified police shootings.
Sure, of course.
There are. And it's just like, we get that. And the thing is, we can't deny in cases like this and other cases like Philando Castile, justifying, because it hurts good policing, like you said. So when it is justified, now we have people getting ramped up and amped up over a justified shooting, when it's just like, hey, look, if you guys would just really go, this was a bad shoot, this was bad policing, that shouldn't have happened, that was police brutality, these people are going away, you wouldn't have people arguing about that kind of stuff. But the fact that you have people who just like, we should argue about the stuff that's in the gray. And people can't agree on, like, this is straight up black and white. And I don't mean racially, like, this is a clear-cut case of police brutality. This is a murder we've witnessed on camera, and people still deny it. That's what's hurting it, man. People act like calling out bad police is somehow it's gonna hurt police. It's gonna make police not want to do their job. Guess what? If you're a cop and you're getting sick of people ridiculing you and talking shit, and it makes you not want to police your area, you don't need to be a fucking cop.
Right.
You don't. Because all these cops, all these people, every Monday morning we can get up and get on our Twitter, we can get on Facebook, and we can talk shit about how every quarterback, how every running back, these diva wide receivers, I mean, people trash athletes more than anybody. You can, you know what I'm saying? We can get on there and call them pieces of shit. You're doing this to people, or like you're not trying hard enough. You're dropping balls. You're dancing after you're doing touchdowns. Fuck you piece of shit. Act like you've been there. Blah 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 blah. All day. If you can ridicule these athletes, but you can't hear like, hey man, you shouldn't be beating people. You know what I mean?
Strange. I don't get it. What more?
It's a weird double standard. Yeah, it's like how come you can criticize these people to the nth degree for a job that really doesn't impact anybody?
Yeah.
Other than like if you're betting on it, but it really holds no bearing on anything in our society. Your job is way too important. Way too important. You can change people's lives. You can send people to prison. You can beat people. You have the authority to shoot people when necessary. You have to make the right choices. And no one's saying your job is easy. We know it's a hard job.
Sure.
So make your hard job easier by calling out shitty police officers.
Right.
Why are you defending them? If your job is hard enough, you should be really mad at them. Like, dude,
yes,
this is hard enough. Why are you doing this to us? People already don't like it. That's how we feel when we see people doing shit that we consider stereotypical. We like, and people act like black people don't care about what's going on in Chicago. We know that's not good. We go, come on, man. We're trying to do something here as a people, and we're derailing it with all this violence and stuff. We do that. We're always asked to internalize and kind of own the stuff that we're not proud of as a people and stuff that we haven't done. But when we ask other people to do the same thing, it's like, that's not fair. But you want me to take ownership in every bad thing that white people have done? It's like, I can't come into your bar because I have dreads and this other dude had dreads? How is that fair?
Right.
But you're like, come on, man, you got to understand, man. But a lot of these guys causing trouble have dreads. And I'm like, all right, cool. So if I had a bar and I was like, I don't want people in here with, Trump shit on or with somebody who's wearing camo. You'll be like, oh, that's not fair. You're being bigoted. How come you're not being open-minded? And yet another thing that pisses me off, dude, Drew Brees. Look at Laura Ingraham, dude. Telling LeBron to shut up and dribble and then turn around and go, well, Drew Brees has his right to his opinion. A lot of these people, it's like, why do you feel like with some of these cops and these, like the guys in Georgia, why do some white people feel like free speech starts with them? They feel like self-defense begins with them. It's like, you can't start an altercation with someone, it gets out of hand, and then you're put into a position that you might have to take this person's life and then want to be seen as a hero. It's like, dude, you started this whole thing and you didn't even have to get involved.
Right. Totally. That's people, man. People are fucked. Did you hear about that lady? She's some senator in California or something like that. She was like, don't leave the house. You got to stay home. Don't go get a haircut. Don't do this. Don't do that. And then they caught her 2 weeks later getting a haircut.
Yeah, you can't do that. Yeah.
Yeah, that people are fucked. And another thing about the cops is the body cams are an issue now. Like, you got to wear a body. If I was a cop, I would love a body cam. Like, look, I didn't do anything wrong. It's all on tape. I would love that. I don't like a body cam. That's fishy.
Yeah, dude. I want to say it was in San Bernardino, but there were a few cities in California. When they first implemented the body cam thing, they said like complaints of police brutality and just complaints against the police and all that kind of stuff and assaults on police officers went down by like 50 or 60%.
Wow, look at that. Jesus.
Because, yeah, that camera, it keeps people honest.
Yes.
It keeps people honest. But then when you have like cops who have body cams and then for some reason, they go on a call and then all of a sudden eight body cams have malfunctioned and they're turned off, but the suspect is now dead. It's like, how is that not fishy?
Right.
And then the same thing with, these people who support cops. They go, well, sometimes these things happen, they get jostled around. So it's like, 8 body cameras just happen to get jostled around and accidentally turned off in the scuffle. It's like they'll go so far to try to prove that these people are innocent.
I know.
That they just start like, I don't know, man. It's just it's sad. They throw away, right, they ignore the Constitution. They ignore laws. Right. They ignore proportionality. Like, I hear people saying stuff like, well, if George Floyd didn't commit a crime, like, what did he do? If he wouldn't have done this, he wouldn't have been in that situation. It's not needed. It's been proven with the Dylan Roots and all those guys. The guy killed 9 people. They gave him food. It can be done. Don't act like it can't be. And don't try to give this guy credit because, like, oh, even he didn't fight with the cops. It's like he killed 9 unarmed people in a church. Don't act like somehow he shows respect for the law because he doesn't. And that's what people do. They're trying to somehow make this guy, see, even he has respect. How come he's black? He killed 9 people. He knows not to fight the cops. It's like, dude, you're glossing over the fact that he went into a church and murdered unarmed people to try to prove that even white criminals obey the law. It's like he didn't when he killed 9 people.
Yeah, that's crazy. Jesus Christ.
Just trying to justify this stuff, dude. But sorry, but my point is, remember last year when I can't think of their names, a couple of football players got into a fight. White guy, he like grabbed the other guy's dick or balls or something, and then the black dude hit him with his helmet.
Yes.
And people were like, that's dangerous. That's not proportional. Why would he do that? He could kill somebody. It's like, oh, now when you see a white dude getting hit or beaten and it's not proportional, you want to call it out. But this guy gets arrested for allegedly passing a 20, and you can justify, hey, he shouldn't have got in trouble. The guys in Georgia. It's like, well, let's not rush to judgment. You know, these guys, when you due process, where was Ahmaud Arbery's due process? Why do you feel like due process begins with these guys in this rush to judgment? That's exactly what they did, dude. That property did not belong to them. They showed several videos of other people going into that building, that structure, numerous times. Some people even went in there at night.
Yeah. Wow.
Again, the assumption of, oh, they're just being innocent and taking a look around. He goes in there. He obviously wants to steal something. That shit across the street had nothing to do with them. They just saw somebody that they knew they could get away with chasing down and doing something to. You know? Yeah. And dude, as much as I'm in the gun community, there's no gun guy. There's no better scenario for a pro-gun guy that you're walking down the street, you're getting chased by some guy with shotguns. They live for that moment.
Yeah.
But here they are taking the attacker's side because he's not a white. If that was a white guy getting chased by 2 black dudes with shotguns, all these right-wing people, oh, this is why you need to be armed, brother. This is why you need to arm. This is why you need the guns. This guy's just trying to do blah, 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 blah. But when it's a black dude, it's just like, we want to go, well, we need to see exactly what his glucose levels were for the day. You know, he could have had too much sugar. You know how they get when they get too much sugar in them. You know, too much Kool-Aid, and they get violent. It's like, come on, man. Come on, bro. That's why I'm losing respect for some of these people, man. I'm losing respect, and I get some of these guys got, like, heavy white conservative followers, man. But if you're a black dude and you see what's going on and you can't bring yourself to say Black Lives Matter because you're afraid to lose some fucking T-shirt sales, I can't mess with you, bro.
Is that
I can't, huh?
Is that happening with black guys?
Oh, you know, I'm a fan of somebody, man, but it's really hard for me I'm giving this person a little bit more time, man.
Wow.
Yep. Somebody that I look up to in the gun community can't even say Black Lives Matter, man. They busy pushing T-shirts.
Dang.
But, you know, but the thing is, to each their own, man. To each their own. I try not to judge. You know, they're not out there being wild like Candace Owen, talking about how, like, did you see her latest video, bro?
No, I can't.
Dude, she gets on some Glenn Beck show on the Blaze, and she was like, you know why white people are better off than black people? And she goes, that's because white people as a whole make better decisions than black people do.
Wow. So she's jumped the shark now. She's just going all in.
All in, bro. And this is like the irony in that. It's like, you know what, Candace, for once I agree with you because you're making the point right now by being a dumb black person and saying some dumb shit like that to a bunch of people that want to hear it.
Is she just the black Milo, basically? Like,
dude,
just trying to get clicks and propaganda, what do you call it?
She's a provocateur, man.
Yeah, that's it, provocateur.
I don't know if you, but you know who Ryan Davis is? He's a comic. Ryan Davis has a video about her that I think it came out yesterday. It's about 20 minutes. I got through like 8 or 9 minutes of it. But dude, and he hit the nail on the head. He made some points that I even said. Dude, she's a hurt black person.
Mm.
She's a hurt black person. I think she was somebody who wasn't really accepted in the black community for some reason. And she said, you know what? Fuck this. If they don't like me, I'm going. She's hurt, dude. She's bitter, man.
Interesting.
She's bitter, dude. She's an ups, and it's sad. And I don't like calling black people who are conservative coons or Uncle Toms because my uncle was a Republican. He was far from that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, dude, there's a line, man. There's a line. I'm all for black people going, hey, y'all, you guys got to pull yourselves up. You got to stop doing this. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. You got to work. I'm all good with that. But when you started to demonize and reinforce and allow people to think and say the things that they do about us, and you just reinforce that, I feel like you're a very, very dangerous person for black people, man. And I can't fuck with you. But she's gonna learn, man. She's gonna learn.
Something's got to give.
She's gonna learn. I don't trust anybody that's willing to throw their own race under the bus. Like if some woke white chick just like I can't. If you're doing this to your daddy and your mom and them, there's no way in hell you sticking by me. Right. If you're doing this to your own people, same people who I know America's not perfect, but I'm not about to go to another country and shit on America. That shit ain't gonna happen. Right. I'm not going to sit here, or if I'm here, I'm not going to let some foreigners sit here and talk shit about my country. Hey, man, fuck you. Go back to where you came from. If this country's so shitty,
yeah,
you know. But we can agree on something. But you know what I'm saying? It's just like I'm not gonna totally let you just talk bad about my country. Now, if you've been here for a while and you have your grievances and all this kind of stuff, but there's definitely a line where like.
Yes.
You know, hey, we need to work on this, but if you're like, oh, this piece of shit country, you know what? Leave. Honestly, leave. If you really don't like it here, go back to where you came from, man. And I don't mean that in a racist way at all, but just don't be here, man, if you really want to shit on my country like that. Because I shit on it, but I still love my country. But yeah, I'm definitely not going to let somebody sit here and talk shit about my country like that. I'm not going to let people sit here and talk bad about white people or black people like that.
Yeah,
I can't do it, man. She just went way too far for me, man. I can't defend her because for a couple of years I would go, hey, man, you know, we gotta embrace other people's opinions and all that kind of stuff. And even if you don't agree, you gotta support her in a way. You know, don't let people bash her too hard. It is a black woman, but I've lost it. I lost my respect for her 100%, man. I can't do it, man.
Yeah,
I can't. And my buddy. Like, oh, you gotta listen to her, man. She kind of makes sense. I was like, okay, so what if you saw a white person get on some left wing thing talking about how, like, you know, black people are better and white people need to understand that they're really inferior? And I was like, would you agree with that? He goes, no. I was like, then why do you want me to be okay with what she's saying?
Yeah, I don't get that. That's crazy.
It's this weird thing of like they like black people who reinforce their negative stereotypes and ideals about black people, man. That makes them feel better. Like when you're on Facebook and you go, "Hey, man, you're wrong," they go, "Man, I'm gonna go to Candace Owens' page. She'll tell me exactly what I want to hear, you know, about her. She'll make me feel better." Yeah. You know, like I've gone through some of her comments. Thank you, Candace, for being so unbiased. It's like you can't be any more biased than her.
Right. It's a subtle racism too, as a white person, because you go, well, she's black, so she knows black people. She is black. How could she hate them? She's one.
Right, exactly. But then they'll look at a guy like Tim Wise or somebody else and go, oh, he's a traitor to white people because he's calling us out for our white, you know, for our white supremacy in this white system of oppression. He's a piece of shit. But that same person on the other side, they're embracing Candace, man. But that Ryan Davis video is very eye-opening, man. If you get a chance, man, check it out. It's got over 1 million views already, man.
Wow.
But dude, she on some other shit, bro. I can't even, dude. It is bad.
Yeah, she's like a carnival barker, just trying to get, you know.
And then they started losing followers for stuff, and then all of a sudden they took this hard right stance. Now they're like these black right-wing comedians, and all they do is talk shit about white people. And you get all these meathead bros that go and see them, and all they do is reinforce stereotypes about black people and people of color. But people go, hey, both of their wives are Mexican, so they really can't be racist, bro. You know? So I don't, but I would never say they shouldn't get booked anywhere. But if someone asked me to open for them, not happening.
Right.
I would not do that. It's like, I'm not getting in front of that crowd, man. Nope. So my buddy did it. He felt so bad, man. He felt terrible. Because he said they started going up on trans people. He has a trans son. He's like, I didn't know. He's like, I posted a picture with these dudes, man. And he's like, to have my son see that, he's like, I had to like explain myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Again, they can, comedy-wise, they can do and say what they want to say. I support their attempt at comedy, but as far as me, like, working with them, I wouldn't do it, man.
Nah, you couldn't.
But see, here's the thing. When I say that, people will go, come on, man, see, I thought you loved comedy. How come you just can't do it? Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But if somebody is like, I don't want to work with Paul Mooney, he shouldn't have to. Paul Mooney says things about white people. You got to respect people's. It's just double standard of behavior, man. We're like, we're expected to always extend the olive branch, to always be open-minded, and then we don't get that same respect due, and it's really frustrating.
Yeah, and also, sorry. Ah, shit, you froze your audio went out again for a second. Hang on. Ah, shit. Damn. I hope we're not losing everything good here. Another thing about, damn.
Yeah, I got you back now. I got you.
There we go. Another thing about Candace Owens and conservatives in general, I think she's given them a bad name because I think we all know I know a conservative guy. He's my friend's uncle. He's so conservative, like big Republican, but he adopted a black kid. Like that's his son now. He loves his son to death, the whole thing, but like, people just go, oh, you're conservative, you're racist. And he's like, what? What are you talking about? Like, we do the lumping a lot.
Yeah, we do. It's not cool. But see, again, it's just like, that's a great point. Because whenever, like, during the election, they would go to these Trump rallies and they would always find the fucking toothless redneck guy that's just like, I don't want these Mexicans in my country. Yep. And then they put a compilation of those together, and then you share that, and then people who are conservative go, hey, man, that's not fair. You shouldn't do that. There were black people there. And they'll show you other videos. They'll show you pictures of black Republicans and people getting along and all that kind of stuff. But when it comes to this, when it comes to protesters, rioters, and looters, now they don't want to separate the two. You see what I'm saying? It's just like, you want people to see... You don't want people to see Trump supporters or Republicans as racist, bigots, or whatever, but you want to turn around and totally ignore the thousands of people that are protesting peacefully and focus on the few that are doing the bad thing. Come on, man. That's not fair, dude. That's not fair. That's not fair. But like I was saying, they want us to see them as not being racist. They want us to separate them from, you know, these ignorant Trump supporters. Same thing, like even with this Confederate flag stuff. Hey, man, just because somebody got a flag don't mean they racist. It could be this, it could be that. It's just like, I'm not afforded the same benefit of the doubt that I could possibly be a good guy because of how I'm dressed. You know what I'm saying? But I remember when I was younger and I would work nights when I was stationed in Vegas. And I was in my late 20s, you know, fairly young dude. And I would just like go to the mall and stuff, and certain Walmart and stuff. And people would look at me like, why aren't you at work? Like people would look at me like, what are you doing out? Like I work nights, man. Like people are like, what do you do for a living? Well, what is it, man? Well, it's a lot of old people here, man. You're doing the day. It's like, what?
Huh.
Yeah, dude. Wow. Even like at the gym, you don't work. What do you do? You know, I even had my wife's aunt ask me that before. She saw me at the gym before too. She goes, I come in here every day around, 3 o'clock, and she was like, you always in here. She was like, do you have a job, son? I was just like, yes, I have a job. I work nights.
Oh wait, it's a black woman.
I know, but I had it both ways.
Interesting.
But see, that was an auntie looking out for her niece, because that was, before my wife and I got married, we were just dating.
Right.
And she was like, you always in here during the day. Like, do you have a job? Do you work? I was like, yeah, I'm in the military, man. I work nights. I work from 11 to 7.
We got to realize that sometimes if a white guy has a thought or a black woman has a thought about a black person, it might, I mean, I'm sure with the white people it was like, oh, another black guy, living off welfare, not working. Now he's at the mall buying shoes.
Yeah.
But it is possible that a white guy could just be like, why isn't he working? The same reason your aunt said it. Damn, this dude stinks, this quality here. I can't hear you.
I'll clear up in a second. I think it's going to clear up now.
There it is.
There we go. Yeah, you're right, man. We do it to each other, man.
It's human nature. We have to realize we're all the same. We're so similar.
Yeah, it's just like we got to realize, like, man, we're not everybody. No one's better than anybody, man. Yeah. Of course. On a small scale level, it's just like I'm not a Hitler, I'm not a Saddam, I'm not a pedophile. I get that, but we just have to understand, like, there's no superior race, man.
No.
It's like we all have different things we can bring to the table. I mean, look how great sports got when they stopped being, bigoted about what positions. Just look at that. Just look how far this mixing it up with sports. Honestly, dude, like, even if you look at the NBA, the fact that we added way more Europeans to the game has changed the game. Adding black people changed the game. Now, adding these Europeans has taken the game to yet another level.
Really? I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. The Europeans, they play basketball differently, man. It's just like traditionally here, like, if you're a tall, big guy, you weren't dribbling, you weren't shooting threes and all that kind of stuff. But over in Europe, that's why, like, big guys like Dirk Nowitzki and all those guys can dribble. They can shoot threes because over there, they didn't – like, over here, we always separate. Like, big guys go over here. You do stuff down low. You only do post stuff. And then all the smaller guys, guards and stuff, you go over here. You do all this dribbling. You shoot threes. But over there, they were like, no, everybody's going to learn everything. And that wasn't heard of in the NBA. But now, like, you got guys like Kevin Durant. You got Luka Doncic. The dude's like 6'10". He's, 20 years old. He's got he can shoot the lights out. He can dribble. He can pass. It's opened the game up. It's made it more exciting because, like, Europeans they didn't grow up with the idea of what basketball was supposed to be. It's just like, because they grew up in another country, it's like, oh, we'll just play it how we see fit.
Yeah.
So they kind of developed their own version of it, and now these guys are coming. Yeah. Yep. And I'm pretty sure, like, even with baseball, I'm pretty sure, like, in Japan, it's not played exactly the same. Korea's probably not played exactly the same. You know what I'm saying? It's just, even with soccer, it's just like, you can tell, like, oh, this guy's Brazilian, man. You can tell this is the way they dribble the ball. You can tell this guy's from this part of the world because they do things a certain way. But it all makes the game better. Yeah. And it's like the same thing can happen in society. It's like, dude, we all have different points of view and perspective and skills, and it just enhances our experience at life.
Yeah, I agree, but I think, you talk about the scared white guy, black people are going to take over. If they were running shit, they would enslave us, these crazy thoughts. But the NBA is kind of like a little microcosm of that. It started, the white guys invented it. It was a bunch of dudes named Slappy White and, honky Vic Whiteson, passing the ball, fundamentals, layups.
Yeah. Hell yes.
Now there's one white guy on the court, so they're like, well, if that's just the NBA court, what's going to happen to the whole country?
Yeah, we'll all be dunking. It's just, to be honest, I see why some white people are afraid of the demographic changes. They look at history and go, man, if you're afraid of, like, too many brown and black people being in charge, it's like, because you look at history and you see how we were treated and you think that's going to be done to you. Right. And it wasn't right, and there's a part of you that's like, I don't want that to happen to us. Because, like, dude, If you're a sheriff and you run a town, and when your time is up, you have no qualms with turning over that badge and that gun. You know what I'm saying? If you rule justly, but if you were a shitty sheriff, if you shot people, if you imprisoned people, you're like, you know what? I don't want to turn this gun over because I might get shot with it. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. Yeah, they're afraid of payback, dude, and that's why there's so much fear when people see black rage, because dude, when you look at it, we've never retaliated at all.
Right.
Never retaliated, and I don't really like using this analogy, because I don't want to seem like I'm comparing black people to any type of animal, but I think it might resonate with some white people because they seem to understand animals more than us, some of y'all, which is insane.
Cecil the lion.
Yeah. So just imagine you had this, these dogs tied up. When we first come over here, we were tied up behind the fence, couldn't do shit. People would come by, they would fucking beat us. They would take our puppies and do all this kind of crazy shit. They would take those puppies, tie them up, trade them off, send them away, break them up. And then over time, it's just like, you know what? You can't have those on a leash anymore. So now they're still behind the fence, but you can't leash them. But you're still fucking with them. You're still poking them. You're still doing shit to them. You're still, you know what I mean? And then they go, hey man, you can't have a fence anymore. You can't keep them fenced in. Now you have all these, and you can't beat them. You can't do this stuff. Now you have these, other puppies and all this kind of stuff who look like all the people that you beat and treated like shit. You shot, you took the puppies, you killed them. Now they're free. And now they're like, man, they might want to bite us now because we treated them terribly, and that's why they're scared, man. Because now we're out we're free. We've never retaliated. We've never done anything, but they're still like they might bite because we treated other animals. Free. Could you imagine how terrified those white people were?
Sure, of course. Jesus.
And nothing ever happened, man. And that's I think that like how that all that anger and resentment and just like rage and all, just the sadness, all that kind of stuff has just been passed down to us from generation to generation to generation. And that fear of a retaliation has been passed down from generation to generation and to generation. That fear and that guilt, because deep down inside, everybody knows like that was terrible, and they know white people, if that happened to them, dude, we would never hear the end of that shit about being enslaved and all that kind of stuff and uprisings and all that. Never hear the end of it, dude. And we've never done anything to retaliate at all as a group against white people. And when they see that, us burning stuff down, people getting upset, fighting cops and all, it scares people because they think that this is it. This is the revenge.
Right.
And we haven't done anything, man. Right. We just want equality, bro. That's it. And I was saying earlier to other people too, I don't want sympathy. We're not looking for sympathy here, dude. We talked about the overcorrection. I don't want this thing to turn into like you got white guys grabbing plates out of waiters' hands so they can hand it to a black family at a restaurant and people are clapping and crying. I don't want that, man.
Yeah.
I don't. I got have somebody today inbox me like, hey, can I buy your family dinner? What's your Venmo? I don't. It's like I appreciate that, but I don't need that shit, man.
Right.
I was like, that's cool. I was like, but I'm fine. I was like, find a black family if you really want to help black. Find a black family in need right now. I don't need your money. I need you to speak out. I need you to raise your kids to not judge us like we're fucking animals, man. That's what I need, man.
That's so weird the way it's flipped. Like black people have all this injustice and history and slavery, and then the white people are angry. Like, how the hell did you get angry? How did that happen? It's like we used to talk about. I watched some documentary about white guys in the 50s. They would jump in a convertible and they would drive around looking for black guys to fist fight. And I'm like, why are you mad at them? I get that, like, okay, they're different. They live in slums. But what's the anger part? I would be like, oh shit, I feel horrible about this guy.
Here's the thing, man, and I was going to talk about this too. I said it earlier. Whenever you watch Republicans talk to black people, it's always about improving their lives and how we got to get you out of your situation. Have you ever seen a Republican encourage his poor white constituents to pull themselves up by their bootstraps and work harder, Mark?
Right.
No. You know what they do? They tell these guys, hey, we're going to bring back your coal mining jobs. We're going to bring the factories back. We're going to open that thing back. It's like what they're doing. What they do is they encourage these people to want to work these shitty, low-paying jobs, these back-breaking jobs that are basically like the fast food jobs of the industrial world. You know, I get it. I'm not saying it's not honest work. I'm not saying that it's not hard work, but it doesn't pay. It's obsolete. We need to move on. So if you can keep a large group of poor white people, if you can keep them dirty, doing a back-breaking work, sweaty, I mean, barely making it financially, because that's who supports these people. It's white people who really don't have much going on. And
right.
They're trucking on its last leg. They're eating shitty food from Walmart, and then they go, "Hey, you see these black and Latino women? They walking around Walmart with 3 or 4 kids hanging up the cart. Man, look, they got steak, they got lobsters, they got shrimp. And look at you, you're a hard-working white guy. Look down at your hands. Look how dirty. You're sweaty. Look at you. You're eating bologna sandwiches. You're eating top ramen." You know, you can barely make it, but look at these black people, man. Look at these brown people. You see that food in their cart? That's your food. That's your money. That's your tax money. They're taking that from you. And they get pissed off. So that's why they hop in cars and they start trying to find black people to beat up.
I got you.
They keep those people angry, dirty, tired. Honestly, dude, it's exactly what pimps do to hoes.
Right.
They keep them bitches. They keep them looking good, but you keep them broke.
Right.
You know, a lot of these dudes that live around here, they might get one nice truck their entire life, and it might be five years old. You know, if they're lucky.
Yeah.
That's the highlight of their life. It's like, remember that one time I had that Dodge truck? You know.
Right.
They got nothing, dude.
That's why they get angry about the white privilege, because they're like, what? I work in a fucking factory.
Exactly.
My wife's fat. I'm eating beans out of a can. What privilege? What are you talking about?
Yeah, but this is like, dude, people just assume that you're doing the right thing, man. People they just assume. And what's funny is those communities have the same exact problems that ours do.
Same.
This is like, dude, it's like you're not married. You got 2 kids somewhere else. You're in and out of jail. You drink too much. You don't go to church.
Right.
You know, but you get told by, your politicians that you're the backbone of America. And you watch some politician roll his sleeves up to his forearm, and all of a sudden, he takes one golden shovel full of dirt, and you think he's one of you guys. You know, he put on a pair of fucking work gloves and grabs the hay bale. You go, he's one of us. He don't like you, bro. He wants you to vote.
Yeah.
He don't care. He's not coming to your trailer park or to your poor neighborhood. He doesn't care that you're putting oil in your car every day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To make it ends meet. Dude, I see it, man. Where I live at in the grocery store, I see so many white people with their SNAP benefit cards and stuff, man. I see it doing the same thing, buying milk and formula and stuff with the SNAP card, and then turn around, boom, they buying alcohol, cigarettes, with their cash. It's like, dude, you're not any different. You're not better. You're doing the same thing, but you ignore it.
Yeah, it's like those people who go, I hate that guy, and your friend goes, it's weird because you guys are exactly alike. They just
right
heads because of the same. That's why they can't get it.
Right, dude. I've noticed like a lot of people, and I'm not saying it's a ton, but I've noticed quite a few people who really hate Trump, but they talk just like he does. It's like, dude, you're not. It's like, dude, you're being the same type of guy, but just on the other side.
Yes, it could be a hipster with blue hair, pissed at a comedy show. I'm like, you sound like Trump.
Yeah, you sound just like him, man. This is like, and I get you think it's for a good cause, but guess what? So does he and his people that follow him.
Exactly.
Everybody thinks that they're doing it the right way, man.
Yep.
And it sucks, man. This is like, I don't, man. It's just, yeah. My buddy, he was just like, I just don't see why you just, why you see yourself as a black dude. It's just like, because that's how people see me. I can't afford to not see myself as a black dude, because the moment you forget and you get too comfortable, now all of a sudden you made yourself quote unquote suspicious because you walked too close to somebody's car.
Yeah.
Or like the other day, my neighbor down the street, he's a cop, right? And I noticed he had a Amazon package hanging out of his mailbox. I noticed it when I was running up the hill. So when I came back, I made sure I crossed the street. I was like, dude, I'm so nervous about stuff. I don't even want to be near this guy's mailbox with a box sticking out of it, because I don't want somebody to go, I had a box coming and I saw that black dude out there running. He ran by it a couple of times. So, and now I got to deal with somebody coming to my house thinking that I stole their Amazon package. And some people will go, why are you thinking about that so much? It's like, because it's a possibility, man.
Sure.
It's a possibility. And dude, it's funny how people are like, how come you think about this kind of stuff? It's like, dude, and some of these guys that are asking me that, I'm like, you just paid $1,500 to take an urban combat rifle course in Texas. It's like, what are you worried about? All I did was run an extra 15 feet across the street, because I don't want to get blamed for a possible missing package that probably won't happen. But you flew from Virginia to Texas and took a 3-day rifle course, spent probably $2,000-$3,000 in total, because you're afraid that somebody's going to come into your neighborhood, and you're going to need to know urban combat tactics with your AR-15.
Right.
It's like, who's being more paranoid?
Yeah. Exactly.
I didn't get on a plane, I didn't fly to Utah. And the thing is, I would love to take those courses, but don't act like I'm crazy because I adjusted my, running path to not be accused of something. And I go, you know what? More than likely not going to happen. But I'm pretty sure that Ahmaud Arbery didn't think that he would get killed for going into a structure.
Yeah.
So we have to be aware, because when something does happen to us, no one cares. They'll bring up my past. They'll bring up, something that I did or something I said to justify a cop killing me, and he had no, they'll go through all my podcasts. Oh, this is where he said he didn't trust cops. That cop didn't know me, but you want to use that to justify my death?
Yeah.
Because on one of my podcasts that 14 people listened to, right, I said I didn't like police officers or something like that. It's crazy, man.
It's crazy. I mean, we should say, just for the record, that we got to remember there's so much nuance here. Like, you're in a shitty situation. The country's fucked. They're trying to make noise, and they're doing it. It's working. I feel like this is really working. That's that old thing, like Martin Luther King got shot. The country rioted. Like a week later, there was the Civil Rights Act.
Right.
And so I think something's going to come out of this, but I don't know if Trump's going to do it. He's so stubborn.
Yeah, man. He just can't get out of his own way. Like, dude, today he said that like George Floyd was looking down and he was happy that the economy is starting to pick back up. He said that today.
Wow.
He said George Floyd will be proud. He will be happy to know that the unemployment is being improved.
Wow.
He said this is a great day for everybody.
Jesus Christ.
He's clueless.
I'm so delusional though, as a just a guy on the outside, white guy. I thought Obama would change everything. I was like, everything's gonna be normal now.
Okay, well here's the thing with that. As a black person in a position of authority, now, I had never heard before, like, hey, you got to be a president for everybody. I had never heard people say that. But the moment Obama was elected, they go, hey, don't forget, you got to be a president for everybody. You can't just look out for who. That's what people assume. The moment we get into a position of authority, people are watching to make sure that we aren't Uh,
Right.
I would want to hire you, but I just got hired, and me coming in, basically hiring another black woman is gonna look weird to people. So I'm sorry.
Right. Right. Yeah. Can you imagine how hard that job had to be?
That's crazy, man. To where, like, not when you're in a position of authority as a black person, you almost have to ignore other black employees in order to not look like you're being biased.
Right.
But this guy, Trump, he can hire his son-in-law, his daughter, and all this kind of stuff, and no one even thinks twice about it, man.
Yeah.
Or when people do, they go, "Come on, man! Kennedy did the same thing. He had his brother." But the little Obama have hired Michelle to do something, or like his brother-in-law to do something. Man, please! People hate the fact he hired Van Jones. If you hire too many black people as a black person, you're trying to take over.
Right. Right.
So even that's a catch-22.
Yeah.
We have to be careful.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like if you took 10 basketball players, 9 white, 1 black, and that one was Michael Jordan. Based on the averages, who's going to be better, a white player or the black or Jordan? Just based on the numbers,
Right.
it would be a white guy. Just based on they're 90%. So therefore, based on on averages, it's probably gonna be a white guy. When we all know that ain't the case. So it's easy for 10 people to interview for a job and have 1 black person or a person of color, and they go, "Hey, man, I mean, there was only 1 out of 10. What do you think was going to happen?" And that 1 person of color or black person could be 10 times better than all 9. But you can go just based on the numbers. There was a 90% chance that it was going to be a white guy.
Right. That's interesting. I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, you can hide it in numbers, man. It's easy to do.
Right. Right.
And I'm pretty sure, dude, like, if you're a white football player and you go, "Hey, I want to be a running back," I'm pretty sure coaches are like, "Dude, you're going up against a lot of black dudes. It's gonna be you really got to stick out." So when you do see a white running back, you go, "That dude is great," because he beat out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's just there's safety in numbers, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. And I guess that's why Whitey's scared. But what do you think about like the Jews? Because obviously the Jews were restricted; they weren't allowed everywhere. And look at them; they're killing it. Is that because they look white? You think?
Yeah, you can hide that, and you know what? I listened to a Malcolm Gladwell book. I think we listened to plenty of them. You've listened to some too.
I did.
But they were asking like how certain ethnic groups got into certain professions. And now, do you remember the whole thing about the lawyers?
Nah, I don't remember.
I don't know the story specifically, but people didn't like these Jewish lawyers, so they started giving them these certain kind of cases. At the time, they weren't popular. They were like, just give the Jewish people these cases and all this stuff to work. And then over time, that became the thing. So they thought they were screwing over all these Jewish lawyers, but they had no idea. They were actually setting them up for the future. So with all these things that these white guys were doing, these cases and all the kind of stuff they were doing, once that kind of phased out, and then the law kind of moved into the other thing where they put all these Jewish people in because they thought it was a waste of time, boom, now all of a sudden they're at the top of the game because these white guys thought they were screwing people over. It's like, here, take these scraps, and they turn those scraps into like soul food or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
That's typically, that's how that happened. You push people into these professions, and you give them like this little, here, no, you can just take that, man. Just take these scraps, and those scraps turn into millions of dollars and a lot of power.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, it's people trying to be greedy. They think they're giving people crap, and it's like, you know what? I'm just going to start taking all this scrap metal to a junkyard and sell it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or like with soul food. Hey, you go get us pig feet and collard greens, we'll take it.
Yeah.
We'll take the parts of the chicken you don't want. We'll fry it up, season it up real good. Bam, there you go.
Right. I feel like the WNBA, not WNBA, what is it? NWA did that pretty well. Like, oh, okay, I don't want to be, like a Whitney Houston cookie cutter for the white audience. We're just going to do what the fuck we're going to do. And it caught on because it was so different and it was so honest.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, that's why people need to listen to some of the art that we've created. We've been talking about this for so long, and that. You can read books. Frederick Douglass, all these guys, W.E.B. Du Bois, they talked about this stuff. Athletes talked about it up until today, and it's just like, at what point are you going to look at the other side and stop blaming us for every single thing, man? It kills me, man. The double standards and the hypocrisy. And it's moving of goalposts, man. Just telling us one thing, and it's, oh, now you got to do this. It's like, come on, man. Why do y'all keep doing this? It's like, what are y'all afraid of? Do y'all want us to stop talking about this stuff or not? If you do, then stop doing this stuff.
Right.
It's crazy, man. Yeah, and I know we have other issues we got to deal with, but right now we talking about this, and we've always tried to settle things in our own communities, man. We've always tried to stop the violence, and this is what sucks too, because like during the election, people were calling all the Trump supporters racist and deplorables and all this kind of stuff. And you would see these town halls where they would go, well, when people call you racist and deplorable and you're a bad person, you start to believe it, man. You start believing that you are all these bad things. And people go, see, this is what happens. This is how you make people this way. But it's just like, why can't you see that when you've treated a race of people like animals? You tell them that they're not shit, that they're dumb, that they're violent, that they don't have a future. How come you can't understand that when they start believing it and acting out? Why all of a sudden we're supposed to, what did all this Trump stuff? It's just like these people are disenfranchised, man. They just want to be heard. It's like, yo, this has been going on in our inner cities for 30 years, and you don't want to listen. But now all of a sudden in 2016, everybody's supposed to just stop what they're doing and listen to these shitty ass, country town folk talk about how bad they got it when they just ignored us and told us to stop bitching and try harder and pull yourselves up. Now we're supposed to listen to them? Come on, man. Again, it's a thing of like, it has to start with us. Now we have to extend the olive branch and go, you know what? White guy who's going through this in the opioid crisis and you lost your job at the coal mine, I understand, man. I understand. You're right, man. We need to come together. Why is that on us?
Right.
Why is that all on us to do when y'all haven't met us for the last 50, 60 years? But we're supposed to understand your plight when you tell us our plight is bullshit? That ain't right, man.
Yeah. I think that's a good note to end on. I think we've got, 2 hours here?
Jesus Christ.
I hope we got it all, because this is some gold in here, and people need to hear this shit, and it's interesting. So I hope it all comes through.
Yeah, it's weird having this conversation because we do so much joking, and I'm thinking like, is he getting bored?
No.
Am I getting bored?
No, I wasn't bored at all. But
I know, but
I was worried about the Zoom, the quality, a lot of it. But no, this is good shit, and I fucking love this stuff. Even before comedy, I'm so literal. Like I remember being a kid and going, "Mom, why is this neighborhood only black?" And I was genuinely curious. I wasn't like trying to fuck around. And she was like, "Well, it's socioeconomic," and I was like, "All right." But I've always been fascinated by this, and nobody will tell you the shit, the real truth. So
it's hard, man, because as a black person, you don't want to, like, we've talked about this, man. We have to be very, because I was cautious. I was like, man, I hope we don't do too much joking, because now it's not the time to really laugh, but it didn't even go that way. You know what I mean? Because we were just really trying to understand, like, what's going on, man. And then, like, because people are asking me, like, what can I do? And I'm like, other than talk to your kids and talk to your family, I don't know. Just don't be shitty. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Don't be shitty. Vote. Open your eyes. Be aware. Listen.
Yeah, again. We are not looking for sympathy, empathy. Understand where we're coming from. Again, we don't need people trying to open doors for like literally open doors and put our groceries in the trunk. Cause that really and recording it and like I'm a good guy. Look at me.
Yeah.
That ain't doing. That's not changing anything.
No.
That makes us. That's the thing, man. We like to feel good. You know how like 9/11 people kind of came together and we do it, and then a few weeks later we were just back at each other's throats, and it's almost worse than ever.
Yeah.
But I talked to my father-in-law briefly yesterday, and he lived through like the '60s riots and stuff, and this is my first time, all of us going through something like this crazy. I guess the '92, well, being an adult, because when the '92 riots, being a kid, it's just like you don't really get it. You just know it's bad. I lived in New York, so it was way on the other side of the country. No social media,
right?
But when you literally can see every fire everywhere, it's scary, man.
Yeah.
I can't lie, dude. There were nights last week I was terrified, man. Terrified. Dude, I got 30-round mags in my room loaded right now, bro.
Wow.
Yeah. I got cause my son, man, he just wants to play Mario and be a coder and make video games and fly. Like yesterday, he was flying a kite. He was playing with bubbles. I'm like, he wants to go to 3rd grade next year, man. I just retired. I'm trying to pursue a career in comedy. Just last week, it was a year ago, we did the live show. I was like, man, last year was dope, man. I was expecting so much more to happen. And this put everything on hold for everybody, man.
Yeah.
And, I did 20 years. I'm ready to start my life, and we got all this shit going on. Dude, all this stuff is just running through my mind. Dude, I can't believe you have no idea how many times, dude, I fucking cried the last week, man. Just cried. Just sitting here, dude, just cried. I've been up till, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning just trying to watch other things to keep my mind off of it, man. But it was bothering me so much. I was just like, why can't people just see what's going on, man? It's scary. And I get for some white people how it's not scary because it's like you're not the ones really being targeted. Like my street is fairly diverse, but if white people around here decided they had enough, so to speak, dude, I am severely outnumbered here. Severely outnumbered. I don't feel unsafe, but I know where I am. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
My neighbors are people. My neighbors are cool. But but I don't know how they feel about this stuff. You know what I'm saying? We say hi to each other on the street. They see me and my son playing baseball on the street. They see us riding bikes. Like, I had my neighbor the other day. This bitch gonna bring me a brush. She was like, well, I got this in the mail. It's not for us. She opened it. She was like, you guys want this brush? I'm like, what? It's just like, is this like a peace offering or something? You feel bad? You want to bring me this brush from China? It's just like, this is sad. And I'll be completely honest, dude. I wasn't expecting anybody to come to my house, and it was getting kind of dark. Dude, I answered my door with a gun in my offhand. I'm sticking half my body out, dude. I don't know what's going on.
Wow.
Dude, I literally have a gun on the other side of my door. Because I'm peeking out in my right hand. I have a loaded pistol in my right hand.
Ooh,
as I'm peeking out
was it a Girl Scout?
It was just my neighbor, this guy's wife. I see her on the street all the time, but I didn't know who it was.
Yeah.
The way my house is set up, the guy who used to live here was like this weird army guy. So like you can't see out any of the doors. All the side windows next to my door are frosted over. So you literally have to open the door to see anybody. I don't know what this guy was thinking. Yeah, it's weird. So
good time.
Yeah, dude. I mean, and some people would say that that's a bit much, and some people would go, you know what? You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
But it puts people on edge. And the last point is, it's like a lot of people feel like it's okay for white people to be on edge, to pick up arms or walk around the street, walk around defending their property, their neighborhoods. But I feel like as a black dude, I really don't have that right. And I am seeing like small get-togethers and protests with armed black people, and that's cool. We're definitely not doing things like storming federal buildings and all that kind of stuff. The gatherings aren't as big, But it's good to know, like, all right, maybe we were slightly wrong about cops just opening fire on armed black dudes who want to protest. But we also haven't taken it to the extent that some of these white wing groups have. But yeah, dude, I can't lie, dude. I'm on edge, and not being able to do comedy.
I know.
You know, it doesn't help, man.
No, it's no.
You know,
brutal.
Yeah, dude. So.
Well, nobody blames you. I mean, I get it. I have a family to protect and all that too. Right,
and I talked to my buddy last night, and I can also see from white people how it's just like, yo, I'm not racist. I haven't done anything. Like, why do I feel like I have to apologize? It's like, I can understand how that can be frustrating. And no one's really asking you to apologize. It's just acknowledging the things that are going on and not denying your white privilege. And again, like I said, it's not about you being rich or your daddy being rich or you being handed something. It's benefit of the doubt. That's all we're asking for is acknowledgement and some empathy. That's it.
Right.
No one, and I'm speaking for me and some other black people who feel like the same way I do. I'm not looking to point the finger and blame any white person for slavery or any of that kind of shit, man, at all. I'm not doing that. But yeah, it's just a lot of y'all motherfuckers need to learn this shit is fucked up, man. And what scares me is I don't want these right wing people thinking that Trump and these people are for them by letting the military come in here. Because, dude, if they do, they're not leaving. It's just like those baggage fees. They were charging us for those baggage fees because they said oil was expensive, and we still paying those fees today. Yeah. If we become an occupied country, they're not going away because there's going to be so much money to be made and creating like infrastructure for these troops. You know what I'm saying? New little bases. And once people start making money doing that, it's not going anywhere. And they're going to start. See what I'm saying, man?
Yeah, that's scary.
They're going to start setting up strongholds and little military not enclave, but like bases. And, we need to park our tanks here. There's going to be money in it, and it's not going to go away.
Yep.
And it's not going to go away. And then in 10 years, dude, people are going to be begging the military to take their guns. Begging. Yes. Don't do it, man. If you're a right wing person, don't fall for the bullshit. Like everyone's saying, don't believe the media. Stop believing the media. The media divided us. It's like, well, stop retweeting black people stealing shit if the media is lying so much.
Good point.
Yeah. All right. I think huh?
You were in the middle. I know you were in the Air Force, but like, how?
Yeah, but.
I mean, but I'm saying, like, if you're in the Army and you're getting pulled out or deployed or whatever you want to call it, and you're a black guy, how weird is that?
Oh, dude! I think you met my buddy TJ. He lives in D.C.
Oh, yeah.
He's been to the marches every night, dude. He said there are black police crying left and right out there, dude.
Oh God, that's brutal.
Crying because they don't know what to do. He said there was another lady like this yelling at this cop, and I think it was a cop, yeah. And she goes, "You guys are da-da-da." He pulled his mask down. He goes, "Ma'am, I don't want to be here." He was like, "I'm glad you're here, but stop yelling at me."
Wow.
And TJ said people were giving him shit because he was telling people, like, stop yelling don't yell at all the cops, man. Just stand here. We don't need to be yelling at. He's like, oh, man, fuck you. You being Uncle Tom. He's like, dude, yeah, there's guys out there that want to, they want to mix it up. But there's a lot of those guys out there that would rather be at home. Or they feel the same way you do.
Of course. Ooh, yeah, damn. All right. We got to wrap this up. Oh.
I really wish a lot of these police departments would. I think it would say a lot if they put their batons down and their shields down and they march with people.
Yeah.
You really can't argue with that. If you want to fight with somebody, you go, you know what? I'm not going to fight you. I'm going to join you with you. What can you really say? Right. Like when somebody's like, you're fucking up, you're doing this, and you go, you know what, you're right. They typically calm down. Instead of you fighting it, you go, you know what, you're right. I cut you off. My bad. You can't argue with that. It will be nice to see that some people let the ego go and go, you know what? This has gone a little too far. We get caught up. We know people don't like us. It's scary for us. Y'all outnumbered. I was like, we get that. That's why we have to have this dialogue. And I think honestly, I think it's kind of good that cops they'll see that like, hey, you can't really fuck with us like that because at the end of the day, it's just like, yeah, y'all got all these guns and tanks and stuff, or these vehicles and tear gas, but there's way too many of us, way too many. There's way too many civilians out there, you know. And then if they really cross the line, and all these, can you imagine if they really cross the line, and then all of a sudden these right wing militia groups line up with like BLM and all, they're totally screwed, man.
Totally
screwed. It would be. And there are certain places too where like there's Trump people, there's militia people. They don't agree with Black Lives Matter, but you know what? They're going out, they're protecting people's businesses from looters and rioters, and they're protecting people and they're protecting protesters. And again, yeah, and it's just like it might be hard for you to see as a black person some white dude out there with his Trump shit on, and he's got a rifle and all this tactical gear. But if that person is letting you protest peacefully, you know what? Hey, that's we got to work together. I saw a video of like these God, what group was it? It was some type of like right wing group. They were assembled somewhere, and they let a Black Lives Matter dude get on stage. He goes, "Hey, we typically don't even do this." He was like, "We're all pro cop and all this kind of stuff," but he was like, "We're gonna let this guy up here. We're gonna give him 3 minutes to talk." And he was up there. He was talking. You know, people are booing. He got a couple of applauses, but it's just applause breaks. But it's like, see, you don't have to agree. But I think that when you're around it more, it makes it less hard to hear. You know what I mean? Because when you don't hear it, you don't see it, and then when you finally do, you want to yell and scream. But once you see it, you get around other people's opinions. You become a little bit more desensitized. It's like New Yorkers. Dude, like, if I saw a dude shitting on the street, I would be like, what the? You would walk right by that.
Totally. You're right. It goes both ways. I've had guys comment on my shit, and they say mean stuff, and I've bumped into them, and they're like, "Oh, sorry." Once it's face to face, it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, dude. It's just like you get used to it. It's just like you got to hear other opinions sometimes, man.
Yeah.
And the thing is, we're just sick of hearing why we suck. Listen to us now a little bit too, and that's what that guy did. Now, will it fix anything? I don't know, but the fact that he gave that guy some time to talk on a platform where he wouldn't be listened to, that's a movement in the right direction, man.
It's a start.
So,
yeah, all right. Here. Well said. Boy, I hope to Jesus Christ we got some of this.